There's a consistent journey that most drummers go on. I've witnessed it in myself, and I've witnessed it in most of my students. It goes something like this. You play drums for the first time, and you absolutely fall in love with the instrument. Then there's a really exciting phase at the beginning where drumming's just a load of fun, you enjoy playing, and it's the thing that fills up most of your spare time. Then you begin to discover other drummers that impress you. You watch them play, you try and work out what it is that they're doing, and their style of playing begins to influence your playing. Time passes. Your skills improve by some measurable amount, but you begin to feel like you're not making enough progress. Like the steps forward that you're taking aren't big enough. And this feeling compounds. With time, it's just like a snowball getting bigger and bigger and bigger as it rolls down a hill. And eventually that leads you to feeling like you're not where you ought to be as a drummer. You feel as though you've run out of creative ideas, you got no fresh ways of playing, all of the things that you are playing sound and feel the same, and you just feel plateaued. At that point, drumming ceases to be the fun activity that it used to be, and it just serves to remind you that you're not good enough to do it at a professional level. So you give up, or you resign to the fact that you're never going to be good enough, and you carry on with other things. And I cannot tell you how many drummers I've spoken to who feel as though they're stuck right there. It's most of them. What I'd like to do is try and break that cycle and completely dispel for you the idea that you're not good enough. Firstly, you're listening to fiction. The story that you're telling yourself about you not being good enough, not being a good enough drummer, is purely in your head. It doesn't actually exist. It's just a little voice that is going around and round and you're believing it. How to stop that vicious cycle is to set up a way to measure your progress. That can be as simple as realizing a 1 BPM tempo increase in a pattern that you're trying to improve. It can be learning a new rudiment. It can be as big as being able to play a new song, or as small as being able to play a section of a song. The key is in capturing that progress though. Whatever it is that you're trying to improve, write that down next to week 1 in a diary. Practice that thing for another week and write down the improvement in week 2. Practice it for another week and write down the improvement in week 3, and keep doing that. Now you've got a really simple system to witness your own progress. Do you still feel like you're not making any improvements? When you can see from week 1 to week 4 that you've jumped up 20 BPM in something that was unplayable previously, that's progress. How about the feeling that you're not good enough? Good enough for who? You only need to please yourself and hold yourself accountable to your own standards. I used to look at other drummers and think, man, there's no way I could ever be that good. And then as I matured as a human, I stopped seeing all of these people as competition. There will always be another drummer out there with a different set of skills and abilities and genetics that enable them to play those things with a different feel to you. And if you don't believe that, ask yourself this question. With enough training on the track, could you beat Usain Bolt in a race? Or has he got a genetic advantage? Instead of focusing on the abilities that others have got and what they can do and what you can't do, and maybe that some other people are judging you for what you can't do, begin to focus in. Learn to identify your next step as a drummer by focusing on your own playing, the weaknesses in your own playing. Choose one of those things, choose 2 of those things, and focus on those things exclusively instead of a massive range of possible things that you could blindly aim at. The reason to do that is that over time, it's going to develop your unique sound. It's going to develop your personality as a drummer. All of those well-known drummers that you know whose playing is instantly recognizable, that is what it develops. It develops the ability to stand out and sound unique. And if your goal is to make a living from being a drummer, or at least to stand out in a crowd of drummers so that you end up being the one that gets the gig, that is the most important thing to practice. If all of that hasn't quite sunk in and you're still wondering what you should do next, go back to the start of the video, watch it again. And if you're still feeling stuck, reach out to me. And if there's something that I've got that will help you, a lesson or a resource, I'm going to send it to you.